The Spotlight, shining a light on podcasts and videos that have caught our attention.
Hi and welcome to The Spotlight. I'm Kiran Skariah, and today I have a podcast worth sharing, especially for the guys. MoMENtum is a Christian radio ministry created to help men find faith in Christ and fellowship, honesty and support amongst each other. The program is heard on Vision every weekend and on demand in the Vision app. The hosts, Des Kennedy and Timothy Charles, have a different guest on the show each week, talking about topics relevant to men. On the last episode of The Spotlight, we heard the beginning of a conversation that Tim and Des had with Kiran Skariah, better known as Pastor Skar. Today, we'll hear more about how Kiran ministers to thousands involved with online gaming.
The Spotlight with Kiran Skariah.
Skar, one thing we haven't talked about is this fact that you've stepped into this space. You've got 20,000 odd followers, but better than that, you've created this community, and I love this so much. I think that you've created this online community that's safe, it's welcoming, it's friendly, it's respectful, and you kind of refer to that as the Skar fam. And you know, I've seen from some of your videos that some of the feedback from the kids, how that's made them feel and the difference that that's made in their life. And it's some of the positive comments that even I watched. I'm like, man, that's awesome for these young kids to feel like they're attached to something that's online, which traditionally we think it's detaching when you get online, but this is a community they can step into, that they feel welcomed. Tell us a bit about that from your perspective and go like, how did you create that? And what are you intentional about when you do that? Like, why is it important that kids online have this sort of community that you've created?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, one of the key things that's driven me from the get-go, from 2018 when I started in this space, was going, online kids are still kids and online people are still people, right? All we're doing is changing the medium. All we're doing is changing the mode. But what those intrinsic needs are: community, care, support, conversation, really genuinely connecting with someone, all of that is still very much there. Just because someone doesn't have access to, where we are geographically, for whatever reason that might be, whether it's transport issues, whether it's, self-esteem issues, whether it could be a variety of things. I don't want that to limit what people have access to. So for me, all it was a sense of going, what are we already doing? What has the church been doing for decades, generations, right? And not even just the church, but just communities around the world. What do they do? And therefore, how do we replicate that, but in a mode that is still accessible and genuine in the online space? And in the online space, for the most part, it's rife with all kinds of things that you don't want it to be. Like, unfortunately, it is a reality. And so I went, well, how do we create something that's different? And like you said yourself, since then, we've received so much feedback from people that are like, this is the thing I look forward to every day. This is the thing that I get home and I just can't wait to reconnect with this online family. Like, you used the term Skar fam earlier. I actually didn't come up with that. That was something that was affectionately used by members of the community just naturally, because they started going, man, it really feels like a family in here. It feels like I can just talk to someone and just get some thoughts and get some encouragement and be prayed for in the middle of the day, even if I'm somewhere by myself. Like, we've had people tune into the live stream when they are like at a party that they're feeling really uncomfortable with what else is going on at that party. And they pull out their phone, they jump in the live chat and they go, hey, could you just pray for me real quick? And we've been able to pray for them in real time. We've had so many scenarios that you would just go, the traditional mode of community wouldn't work in that scenario in the same way, at least. But here they can, and have immediate access to tens, hundreds, thousands even of people that are going, hey, we're with you. We're not physically with you, but we're with you. Let's pray. Let's do this journey. And that's a truly incredible thing. And we've seen profound impact in lives from so many people. And many of them I've had the privilege of meeting in person, both in Australia and outside of Australia. My wife and I, when we've traveled, we've bumped into people at random in airports that have been like, hey, I'm a part of this and I just want you to know how much this means. Could we get a photo together? And then we get a chance to then talk to that kid's parents who is looking at us super confused, like, why is my kid wanting a photo with this random guy? And it just provides incredible opportunity using the technological tools that already exist to all of us, but with the same heart that those in the Christian world have probably seen or experienced their entire lives, but that's not normal for the outside world, if you will, until now, where we get to make that a possibility.
It's amazing, and it just comes to mind that there'd be so many young people who don't have, a strong, vibrant family community.
Yeah.
They may have lost a dad, they may have no parents at all, they may be fostered, they may be whatever, and for them, this is a whole new experience. God-based experience, which is just opens their mind to what family and community is. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's so true. I remember distinctly, and I'm not going to overshare here because this is a very full-on scenario, but someone in another country whose a family member was involved in a tragic event and lost their life. And this person in the real world, if you will, what we would refer to as IRL, which means, your in-person life, if you will. In person, they were trying to be the strong, I need to be strong for my mum, for my siblings. I need to not show emotion. They were going through that whole phase, but they were like, I can't talk to anyone in person because everyone is grieving this. But with us, they came in and they were like, you guys don't even know my real name. I can be as honest as I want. And so I'm hurting and here's what's going on. And they just told us all about what was going on. And I've been praying for that person regularly since then. Every time I see them in the chat, I check in and I go, hey, how's the family? How are you doing?
Yeah. Wow.
And all that. And they've got that space that they know that the unnecessary info, if you will, of, what nationality are you? What age are you? What, all of those things. They obviously the things that matter. But as far as you recognizing that God loves you, regardless of what nationality you are, that is true for you. Regardless of, how physically able you are, that is true for you. We want people to know that whoever they are, wherever they are, that they are loved, that they are valued, and that they matter. And we get the opportunity to do that every day.
I suppose a final thought, Skar, is the idea that our kid could be spending way too much time in this space. I don't know what an average healthy recommendation is. You say your stream goes for about 3 hours, and then you rightfully go, hey, I'm going to jump off, my wife are going to whatever. So some guidelines just for parents to go, what is a healthy, functional kind of amount of line that our kids should be online? And then it's time to go, hey, sweetheart, might be time to turn that off and come and do something with the family or whatever it may be.
Absolutely. I genuinely wish that there was a blanket rule that was just kind of like, this is the magic number. This is the sweet spot. Unfortunately, the way that a lot of games are designed is that there are some games that physically cannot be played in a 20-minute break because each round of the game goes for 30 minutes. And so for a game like that, it's going to require a longer amount of time with each time it's played. Where there are other games that in a 20-minute window, you could play 5 different rounds of whatever the game is. So it really does depend. One thing that I talk about a lot on our live stream and that we demonstrate is those healthy boundaries. And I think that the way to determine where that sweet spot is for you as an individual or your young person, keeping in mind, by the way, that the average age of a gamer is mid-30s. So we're not talking about teenagers when we say gaming, and even our community reflects that. We've got people far older than I am that are regular members of our live stream and of our community. So just putting that context back in, I think it's really important to go, are you neglecting any area of your life for this? And if so, it's now a problem. You know what I mean? So if you're going, man, I just don't have time in the day. Like I couldn't get the dishes done. I couldn't do whatever, but I managed to play X amount of hours of this game. That's the moment where you got to go, well, hold on. I think you've got the priorities wrong. But if you are going, you know what, I've done all the things. I'm a functioning, healthy adult. I've gone to the gym. I've done everything that needs to be done. And yeah, you know what, I'm going to play something before I go to bed. By all means, all power to you. And so for me, I like to say, hey guys, this is what I'm doing after stream today. Or when people ask me, which they do basically every stream, hey, Skar, can you keep going? Can you keep streaming? And I'll say, sorry, no, I can't because I need to spend time with my wife now. Or, we're going to go for a walk or we're going to do whatever it is that we might do. Even something as simple as, sorry, we've got housework that we need to do. So, we've played today. It was fun. We'll be back at it tomorrow. But as for today, we're going to call it there. I want to encourage everyone to do the same and that kind of thing. By leading by example, it gives a chance for people to go, this guy's a gamer, he enjoys games, but he's also a functioning adult that's getting stuff done. Maybe we can have both.
So a final thought, if a gamer wants to reach out to you for whatever reason, whether it's good or bad, if a parent wants to reach out to you with maybe a concern or something like that, or, they've got some funds that they want to put your way and help you continue to do what you need to do, what's the best way to connect with Pastor Skar?
Love that. Great question. And the simple answer is Google. Google is a beautiful tool. And if you type in Pastor Skar, now to clarify, that's spelled S-K-A-R. So P-A-S-T-O-R, like pastor, like a pastor of a church, S-K-A-R. And if you're wondering where the name comes from, it's my last name, Kiran Skariah. So the first part of my last name and my occupation. So if you just Google Pastor Skar, you'll find us on every social media platform. So you could, contact via that. The live stream functions on Twitch predominantly. We're also now live streaming on YouTube, and that will probably expand in the future. But there's also a website, just pastorskar.com. You've mentioned it a few times already. There is a donate button there if anyone wants to contribute to what we do. Everything we do is just funded by regular mums, dads, people that go, hey, what you do matters and we want it to keep on going. So we're going to contribute to it how we can. So if anyone wants to join us in that journey and partner with us in that way, there's a way to do so via pastorskar.com. But yeah, otherwise, I'm not hard to find living on the internet.
On the Spotlight, we've been listening to Tim and Des from MoMENtum with the conclusion of a conversation with Pastor Skar, hearing how a simple concept has allowed thousands to be reached with the love of Christ. If you missed the beginning of this conversation, tap the podcast tab in the Free Vision app and search the MoMENtum feed for the episode called Pastor Skar. While you're there, check out Tim and Des' many other conversations. If you have a favourite podcast or video series that should be featured on the Spotlight, click Contact Us at vision.org.au and share the link. My name is Jen Spiker. Join me next time as I highlight another podcast or video.
For more great podcasts and videos like the one featured today, check out vision.org.au or the Free Vision app.